And blessed to be a part of your day. Kevin Miller in the morning, KIDO Talk Radio. Much more coming up as we celebrate God and Country from Team Mazda Subaru here in beautiful Nampa, beautiful Caldwell, Idaho. It's going to be a wonderful event this evening. We hope to see you there. Stop by, say hello. We'll be at the KIDO Talk Radio tent. And obviously, we're celebrating faith, family, and freedom. Coming up, we'll speak more with our newsmakers from God and Country that have so graciously gotten up early. It's going to be, well, they're probably already up getting ready for tonight's festival. Gotten up so early when we're talking about getting ready for this big event this evening. Incredible when you're thinking about the amount of years that has gone into it, the history, the significance, the values that will be shared here this evening. Joining us now is Kyle Drennan from Newsbusters. We love the Newsbusters on KIDO Talk Radio. Kyle, good to have you with us.
Thanks for having me on.
All right, we've got a big event tonight, and we're urging people to tape or DVR or what have you this big debate that's coming up, 2 nights of the debate, because we've got the God and Country event here in Nampa, Idaho, but we've got these major Democratic candidates. What, if any, will the coverage be tonight when we're talking about the first 10 and then the second 10? How will the media shape the discussion?
Well, we probably are going to see the media give them a pretty friendly forum. There may be some challenging questions, asked about some controversies here and there, but for the most part, it's probably going to be sort of letting the Democratic candidates sort of say, introduce themselves and promote their policies. Now, what we did here at Newsbusters is we looked back and said, well, what did NBC do when they had a Republican primary debate in 2015? How did they treat the Republicans? Well, there was a CNBC debate in 2015 with all the Republican primary candidates at the time, and it was one question after another designed to embarrass and denigrate the Republican candidates, sort of rip apart their policies, and really just, insult them, basically. And, if those are the questions that they thought that was the standard for Republicans, well, then that should be the standard for Democrats as well.
Kyle, I totally agree with you. Are the media, are they already picking winners and losers? Because we're hearing that Bernie Sanders seems to be getting the Trump treatment. Is that out of line, or based on your research, have they come up with favorite candidates? And I know it's very early. Your thoughts as someone who studies this all the time.
Well, no, it is interesting. I mean, there actually has been, we've seen some negative coverage of Joe Biden recently. So that, they seem willing to sort of, delve into some of that. We've seen more favorable coverage recently toward Elizabeth Warren. Seem very excited, reporters do, about her, rising in the polls slightly ahead of the debates. So it does seem like, there are some candidates where they're willing to sort of go after and challenge them a bit more, and there are other candidates that they're sort of, maybe rooting for a little bit. So, it'll be interesting to see who they sort of build up in the wake of these debates and who they sort of downplay or criticize. I think there will be a little bit of picking winners and losers based on how they do their reporting, how they do their analysis after the debates.
Besides Joe Biden, who really is winning the media primary? Is it Mayor Pete before the incident this week? And Kyle, again, you as someone from Newsbusters, we talk about it here on KIDO Talk Radio. The media picks winners and losers. They build them up, then they tear them down. Donald Trump is the exception of that. But, you go back to Mayor Pete and his bad week. But prior to that, was he their recent darling?
Yeah, he definitely had his moment in the sun. They particularly liked it when he would go after Mike Pence, because he did that a few times where he would just sort of, attack Mike Pence. And that was part of what helped him get in the headlines. The media enjoyed that. So, up until this week with that police shooting in South Bend, that obviously has stirred some controversy, and I think that's something he's going to definitely get questions about tomorrow night when he's on the debate stage. But, he's definitely had his time in the spotlight. Joe Biden has. I think Elizabeth Warren is sort of getting her turn now a little bit because they see her going up in the polls a bit. So, and they seem very excited that, her left-wing ideas are getting some attention. So that's sort of, how it goes. And, but the debates are unpredictable, so you never know who's going to have a good moment or a bad moment. So we'll see.
Indeed. Kyle Drennan joining us from Newsbusters here. Kevin Miller in the morning, KIDO Talk Radio. Anything else we should be watching out for with the post-debate coverage? Obviously, NBC loves this. All the shows really love this time of year, unless you're human and you want to take a vacation. One of the slower times of year, yet this debate will lead the coverage into the weekend shows, particularly the big shows on Sunday.
Yeah, definitely. And I think one thing we need to be looking for is in the questions during the debate and then in the post-debate analysis, are they going to talk about some of the really left-wing, sort of out-of-the-mainstream ideas that some of these Democrats are promoting and are going to promote during this debate? Are they going to say anything about, are they too far left? Are these ideas a little bit too out there for the average voter? I mean, is there going to be any serious discussion of that? Because, if it were Republicans, they would immediately be saying, they're all very far to the right. They're all, they're going to all have trouble in the general election because they're trying to outdo each other on who's, more conservative. That's how they do it with Republicans. But are they going to do the same with Democrats, saying Democrats are moving too far left for the general election?
Kyle, we appreciate it. Thank you, brother.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. By the way, we are taking your phone calls this morning on faith, family, and freedom, and Robert Mueller will testify coming up. How exciting for that. He looks like an exciting young man. The former special prosecutor agrees to testify publicly about the Mueller report. And I don't know if we shared this with you yesterday, but you're actually going to have Hollywood A-list actors. I don't know if it's an off-Broadway play or if it's going to be on television. They're going to make a play or something out of the Mueller report. Yeah, the Mueller report. Let's go to Matt in Middleton. Matt, good to have you with us. Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Matt.
Hey, Kevin. How you doing?
Great.
Cool. Hey, I'm just really happy to see that this event is so popular. And if we look at how much happier people are when we follow the teachings of the Scriptures, then I think that we can know where we can turn for peace and true happiness. The further away that we stray from the teachings of the Scriptures, I think that we're happier. I mean, I think that it's, between me and you, I think it's pretty obvious, right?
Agreed.
And I'm just so sad that that we see so many people these days that are against true peace. It seems like people want to be miserable almost. Anyway, I'm going to
now, Matt. For the purpose of making people laugh, I kind of resemble that remark.
Huh?
Now, come on, it should make you laugh.
Yeah, but
you're not happy unless you're miserable. I can relate.
Yes, I know, Kevin, and yes, we all have flaws and all that, but I don't know. Anyway, I'm just really happy to see public events like this, and I'm going to go to the event if I can get in, because I went one year, and oh my goodness, it was so busy. Kevin, do you know if I've got today off, do you know if they need volunteers?
Now, let me ask you, David Ferdinand, do you all need volunteers here for God and Country?
We do have a lot of volunteers.
Let's try it again.
All
Go
right.
ahead. Yes.
We do have a lot of volunteers that are already ready to go, especially for security.
Sure.
For
probably for next year, you'd like volunteers.
Well, we'd love to have people for next year. We'd also there may be some things that people might help us do later on. Just check in with us. There's probably a person in a red shirt with God and Country Festival on it.
Right.
You can find those people when you go in. The gates open at 4:00, and with the event starting at 5, you never know where we might need some help even this year.
There you go, Matt. So there's your opportunity.
Excellent. Okay, well, thank you so much, Kevin, for bringing attention to this. This is great.
Well, God bless you, my friend. You're in my prayers every night.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Our great friend Matt from Middleton. I remember the first time Matt called in was when we used to do the award-winning show that didn't last long. It was kind of like one of those great sitcoms that was ahead of its time, Kevin Miller, Thanksgiving Across America.
I don't know. It sounds like a great venue to me.
Right. Kevin Miller in the studio talking to himself and everybody else working on Thanksgiving. shocked that it didn't continue on.
It didn't work.
Anyway, let's go to our great friend Leo. Leo, good to have you with us.
Good to be here, let me tell you.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your ministry, your outreach. Obviously, your work with the Boise Rescue Mission, with Christian Living Magazine. You're always writing about what we can do to help others, and here we are today.
Absolutely. This is a great opportunity to serve the community and bring out the fact that we do have the freedoms that we have because people have given their lives and their time with their families so that we can have the freedoms to worship as we feel led and talk about Jesus on the radio at whatever time it is this morning.
Sure. Well, that's the idea. And, I have to give props to Glenn Beck that made that happen.
Mm-hmm.
And, we've all been other places. And for me, this is the most I've ever had the freedom to talk about faith. And just as Donald Trump has liberated us, I think, Glenn Beck talking about faith and faith in God has really allowed this program to be able to do that. And we've embraced that. And we've embraced, the community trying to reflect that. Many people say, well, you're a secular show. Mm. You shouldn't talk about God. Right. But this is Idaho, number one, and this is America. So if you can't talk about your faith, and people say, well, I don't want any of that. Well, there are plenty of other places to go, but I think more people should embrace, and this is where God and Country is, where, look, you can talk about God and Country. It's
Isn't that amazing?
Right, and do so in a public venue. And that's important that, we talk about it, but also that we continue on with this event so people, won't feel marginalized like a lot of people do, Leo.
Absolutely. I've been able to attend this event. I've been able to attend this event for quite a few years. This is the first year working on the advisory board, and it's just phenomenal seeing what all goes on behind the scenes to put this together. A lot of work, a year-long amount of work, but it is worth it, and tonight is going to be phenomenal. I invite everybody in the Valley to come out. It's going to be well worth your time. You will be blessed. You will be impressed. And, who knows? Your life may be changed.
How so?
God's going to be there. Yeah. We've got some wonderful men and women of God that are going to be speaking. And once he shows up, lives change.
Right.
There's going to be people talking about their lives and explaining how God has already changed them, brought them from drug addiction into living a productive life. And just seeing how God works in all cases, there's hope for all of us. He changed me. If he could change me, he can change anybody.
How did he change you?
I was very, very inward, very selfish.
Yeah.
And at one time, I thought that homeless people got exactly what they desired because they were lazy bums that were there because they wanted to. They didn't want to work. And at one time, I asked God, I said, use me where you want to use me, doing what you want me to do. And he put me at the rescue mission working with homeless people. So God changed my heart, and I've been there for 18 years now.
Wow.
And I love it.
We are a great community, and I did get a text from my local historian, the statewide Esto Perpetua award winner Joe Bell.
Joseph, yes.
And he said, well, you remember that Alexander Duffus, who was the founder of the city of Nampa, was a guy that...
Wait a minute. The founder of the city of Nampa, what was his name again?
Alexander Duffus.
So, folks, listening today on KIDO Talk Radio, whether you're new to the Valley or not, this is a fact that you can use on your coworkers, your family members, your friends. Hey, you're a native Idaho, and you're this, that. Who's the founder of Nampa? Well, I don't know. And then one more time.
1891, Alexander Duffus.
Mr. Duffus. Thank you, Mr. Duffus. I'm sorry to interrupt here, David Ferdinand.
Well, no, he sent me a note and said,
Mr. Duffus, yes.
Mr. Duffus, we had a lot of things happen in Nampa. We've been down many times. The fire of 1909. I mean, there were a lot of things that happened. And but there's a spirit of that the old proverbial phoenix that rises out of that sort of thing, And our founder was a man of great faith, and I believe that the Lord blessed our city. You know, Nampa used to be called the New Jerusalem.
Wait a minute. Hold
Yeah.
on. Let's take that up in a minute. By the way, 580-5436, 580-KIDO. That's a great tease that Nampa used to be called the New Jerusalem.
That's right.
All right. We'll put everybody on the spot about that. Celebrating God and country this evening and right now on KIDO Talk Radio. Rolling right along, Team Mazda Subaru, God and Country Festival this evening. Stop by and say hello. We love our friends here in Canyon County. Love being in Canyon County. It's a short drive for me. And look, we love the short commute. Coming up, we'll talk a little bit more about transportation issues. Some of the big stories going on. Robert Mueller agreeing to testify publicly about the Russian investigation before Congress. That'll be something that we'll take a look at and listen to, and, of course, hear what you have to say about that at 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Our friend Radical Russ, the pro-pot prince, he had a news conference yesterday saying that he's going to put medical marijuana on the ballot. He needs 50,000 signatures. We'll talk to Radical Russ probably this week. And, you know, we'll see whether or not you support that. And this is interesting. The President of the United States has criticized the post-World War II military agreement with the Japanese. And you know, if you are a World War II veteran and you survived the Bataan Death March or any of the other issues with the Japanese, and I guess the Germans as well, you were forbidden from suing the Japanese or holding them accountable. And to have the President speak about this is news breaking, but he breaks a lot of news, which brings us back to David Ferdinand. First, we found out who the founder of Nampa was. Now, apparently, Nampa was the New Jerusalem.
New Jerusalem, yes, it was. It gained that fame, that name, because when Nampa was founded, and when they were starting to grow Nampa, Eugene Emerson and some of the people that were bringing churches and community families to the area, they did not allow bars in downtown Nampa.
Look, I'm fine with that.
And with with your stance on CBD oil and
Yes.
and all of those things, we can understand that,
Yes,
Kevin.
right. So hold on. So back to the founder of Nampa
Well, Alexander Duffus.
Alexander Duffus.
Right.
Nampa was called the New Jerusalem.
It was known.
And then the founders prohibited bars
yeah.
in downtown Nampa.
For several
years.
years.
We need to
Yeah.
make Nampa great again by going back to that. Yes.
For several years, that's what we did, and so they gained the name of the New Jerusalem.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess again now I guess Radical Russ is texting me. All right, Radical Russ, he's ready to talk about his issues. So when we speak about God and Country, people just tuning in, this is a big event tonight. Gates open at 4, 5 o'clock. We suggest Sandy that they get there early, right? When we're thinking about getting there, there's going to be a big crowd. Do you bring chairs? Do you bring your water? How does that work out?
I would suggest getting there early. Be part of the excitement from the beginning at 4 o'clock. You can bring low back chairs, and we will have water available. There are plenty of vendors there selling food and drink. It'll be an exciting time.
Yeah, and like I said, you know, it is good to get there early and plan to be there for a while. Great entertainment where we have a mix of music, we have a mix of speaking, and, of course, other issues as well. What's your favorite part of God and Country?
Community.
Yeah.
I love the fact, going back earlier, Kevin, what we were talking about, sharing faith and speaking openly about Christ, because that is extremely important to me. I love the freedom that we have with that. I love the music. I love to hear the speaker, but I really enjoy looking around and seeing community. Our community coming together, standing for what we believe, standing for what the Treasure Valley is, especially for what Nampa is.
Indeed. Traffic and weather together. KIDO Talk Radio, 107.5 FM, 580 AM. Let's get you to work safely and on time. Good morning, Robin. And good morning, Kevin Miller in the morning, KIDO Talk Radio, broadcasting from Team Mazda Subaru. Getting ready for God and Country. Of course, we'll hear from our friends at Fox News Radio. We'll take more of your phone calls. Really talking about God and Country today. Before we get to Rob Studebaker, who's standing by, so gracious to have us here, let's see if Art in Star is joining us now. Art, good morning.
Hi, Kevin. Good morning. I just wanted to find out what the events were. I've never been to anything like this, but while I was listening to get around to talk to you, I got some of the answers. I guess the fireworks kick off at 10:15.
The fireworks kick off at dark, but you need to get there earlier because it's 50,000 people there.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think I'll bring my Bible. Maybe there's some places where people can sit around and talk about cool things in the Bible, stuff that you found over the years. I'm going to deliberately miss the Democratic conversations that they're going to have.
Hey, Art, can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Art, can you hang on for a minute?
Yes.
All right, Art and Star is going to bring his Bible and preach the word tonight. Rob Studebaker will join us in 2 seconds, but first, Jeff Manasso from Fox News Radio on KIDO Talk Radio. Jeff, good morning.
Good morning, my friend.
So, lemonade stands and legal fees. This is a good one.
It's a great story. So, Country Time is Lemonade is got this massive PR campaign. In fact, according to the Idaho Statesman, there are billboards in your area around Boise warning of the dangers of setting up a lemonade stand and talking about the fines that kids could face, up to $335 for being in violation of running an illegal operation. But look, lemonade stands, it's part of being a kid. It's part of summertime. And so Country Time has launched this massive, not just in Idaho, but nationwide campaign. It's launched a website, countrytimelegal.com, talking about legalizing lemonade. It's only legal in 15 of the 50 states to be able to have a lemonade stand. In states like Georgia, you've got to have a business license. You have to have a peddler's license. You have to have a food permit. You've got to wear hairnets. You've got to wear rubber gloves. And so it's just gotten out of control, according to Country Time. And so what they're saying is, go ahead and have your lemonade stand. We're going to support you. We're going to pay up to $300 in fines. But look, it's going to take one of our finest law enforcement officers, men and women in blue, to have to stop their busy day down and to come and crack down on this. I think that, Kevin, this is usually it's kind of that crotchety old neighbor that calls in on some sort of complaint in which an officer would have to respond, because law enforcement officials have better things to do, but laws are laws and they're on the books.
Indeed, we'll have to monitor that. Jeff Manasso, we always appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
You too.
And when you hear Fox News on the radio, you're listening to KIDO Talk Radio. Before we get back to Art and Star, a couple top stories that we wanted to share with you. Number one, President Trump saying Google and Facebook should be sued over bias allegations. The president on fire this morning criticizing our post-war agreement with Japan. And my personal favorite story is that you have an Alabama car dealership offering shotgun, Bibles, and a flag to customers to celebrate the 4th of July. A lot of crazy stuff going on in the world that we live in today. If you want to comment on those stories, 580-5436, 580-KIDO. And, oh, by the way, those of you that disagree with me on the marijuana issue, Illinois has become the 11th state to approve the weed for recreational use. Thankfully, we have Rob Studebaker to answer all of these charges and allegations and stories from Team Mazda Subaru. Good morning, sir.
Where do we begin?
It's never a dull moment, is there?
For you, no.
No. We used to have billboards. Kevin Miller has issues, and the issues are still resonating today.
There was a dealer in town who was giving away guns with a car purchase. That's not something we're going to do, but it's kind of funny.
It is indeed the world we live in today. Let's talk a little bit about the community. Thank you for having us out here. Thank you for supporting the Treasure Valley God and Country Festival in its 53rd year. You all do so much, whether it's schools, whether it's Miller's Mission, whether it's God and Country.
Just a spoke on the wheel of the Kevin Miller. And we're following you wherever you're at. And you've gotten us into some great causes. The Boise Rescue Mission was outstanding. Things we do with you, and this one's going to be another great one. And you've brought a host of folks that are supporting something that we truly believe in.
Well, God and Country, you can't go wrong with that. And like I said, they were here almost before I was this morning.
It's an early one. You beat the service team, which is it's pretty rare. You opened us up today. Thank you.
Well, we're the opener, and the closer tonight, obviously, is this big fireworks display. David Ferdinand was saying earlier, Rob, you're going to have 12 to 13,000 people in the amphitheater, and then all over the area, you're going to have, what is it? You're looking at 40 to 50,000 people.
50, yeah.
Well, you got to speak into the microphone, David.
It's estimated by some of the law enforcement individuals that we get somewhere around 30 to 50,000 that actually surround that area so that they can see those fantastic fireworks. Some of the greatest fireworks in the state.
And so if you're around the Idaho Center, that's the best place to be, somewhere near there.
Yeah. Good idea is to bring your blanket and come enjoy the grass inside the amphitheater. But if you can't do that, a lot of people park at some of the parking lots around, where Kevin spent a lot of time at the Walmart parking lot, up at Gateway and all of those places, up by the golf course and all that.
Right, and plus we'll have the music on 107.5 FM, 580 AM, KIDO Talk Radio. Yeah. And the music, very inspirational, a mix of faith and patriotism.
And so that's going on your station for the whole evening?
It will be. We'll be doing. We'll break away from Clyde Lewis. Clyde gives the UFO guy George Noory a run for his money, and I just had a nice lady call in and said she loves the Clyde. We'll take a break from Clyde. We'll have the fireworks with the music, and then we'll have the post-game show, which we will take calls. Kevin Miller will turn his shade of purple, red, a nice shade of rosacea pre-midnight. And we'll do that till the top of the hour as people are walking out, just celebrating America. And if people want to sound off on Liberty, they can.
And so you'll be up late this evening with all those things, and I'm expecting you'll just take the day off tomorrow.
No, you can expect a cranky Kevin Miller tomorrow, and we've all grown to tolerate cranky Kevin Miller in the morning.
So here's your chance tomorrow if you're calling in.
Yes.
Take a shot at Kevin.
Well, I don't know about that, but I think that comes naturally to most people. But, yes, and like I said, 53 years. You go back to Chuck Connors, the rifleman, started this, and we have people in Nampa and throughout the Treasure Valley, and people come to your place from all over the Treasure Valley, coming together, getting ready for the 4th of July season.
Yeah, it's great. It's really fun for us to be a part of this. And 53 years of this organization?
God and Country.
Wow. That's outstanding. So where's it been over the years?
Primarily in Nampa, but it started as a semi-national movement. And, we've learned a lot this morning. Did you know that Nampa...
I did hear this.
They used to call it the New Jerusalem.
Oh.
And the founder of Nampa, I'm sorry, David Ferdinand.
Alexander Duffus.
Alexander Duffus.
1891.
There we go. See, people listen.
Duffus.
Mr. Duffus.
Yeah, there you go. And keep in mind that I was going to ask Rob what kind of car he's going to have out there beside the KIDO booth tonight. He's got some sort of special vehicle.
Three vehicles. They've been we're honored to be able to be part of this, and they're allowing us to bring 3 vehicles: a Mazda CX-5, a Forester, and a Crosstrek. So Subaru Forester and a Subaru Crosstrek, all brand new units, and they'll be on display. Ashley was nice enough to set that all up for us, and she'll be out there as well, and she'll spend the day with you and giving away T-shirts and some what we call swag.
Right,
the auto dealer swag for those that are out there, and we're expecting a great turnout. You said 11,000 or so.
Oh no, that's on the conservative.
That's just inside.
That's
11
inside.
to 12,000.
Wow, yeah. Wow. What an exciting event, and some great pastors and speakers.
Indeed. Let's see, David Ferdinand. Anything else you want to share with Rob?
No, we're excited to have Team Mazda out there, and of course, the after show. I know,
right? We can't
Joe
wait for
and
that.
Tammy.
Yes.
Wait till you hear Tammy's comments on freedom. I love that.
Right.
That's going to happen tonight. And of course, the other part of it is the law enforcement people tell us that they come out and they arrange certain traffic patterns to help people get out of there. So if you're coming in there, don't worry about the safety issues, because they are taken care of. Obviously, we want people to drive safely, but they are they take a lot of time ahead of time to make sure that they set up the way that the traffic flows in and out of the Idaho Center area.
So Kevin, you'll be driving out. What will you be driving in?
I'll be driving in the Team Subaru Drive for Excellence in Education Forester.
That's a setup.
See, I like
That's a setup. He could just
You can tell
rolls right
Rob
off the
is
tongue.
not going to miss a lick. here.
No, he rolls right off the tongue.
It's true.
Usually he can't get me to talk about cars.
Right.
Usually we're talking about his charities and things we're doing together, but today we're going to talk about the cars we're bringing, but then, the event, of course, is where we're headed.
Well, and as David talked about, Rob, here you have an event that celebrates faith, celebrates family, freedom, God, the military and first responders, and obviously you're a big fan of both, our local law enforcement, our local folks that, when the fire's burning, they're not running away, they're running towards the flames to keep us safe. And, if a small amount of gratitude that we could give them, is echoed through this event tonight, that would be great. We forget, sometimes these people are humans like all of us, and it's a tough job.
Yeah, we're that's the other thing we're really blessed to be a part of, is that you're supporting the local law enforcement and the military, and they're dear to our hearts.
They are. Much more coming up. Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. And is Art still there? Art, I got carried away with my conversation. Art and Star, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hello, Art.
I was just listening to you. Yeah.
Well, we're back. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I've never been to one of these things, and I'm just do you know if they're going to have some type of mosquito control?
David Ferdinand, are you going to have mosquito control tonight?
That's a good question.
West Nile virus thing that they've been talking about.
I think that would be something we'll give the guys at the Mosquito Abatement District for Canyon County, but they've been out fogging. They've been trying to take care of all of those.
Usually
kinds
it's
of
too
things.
hot for the mosquitoes.
Well, quite frankly, it's not hot enough to create, an infestation of mosquitoes.
Probably
right now.
your best unsolicited advice, Art, is to wear the off.
Yeah, wear that DEET, whatever it is. The stuff
DEET.
off.
I'm familiar with the
wear
chemical
the good
formula
stuff,
for DEET.
but at this point, probably not. And quite frankly, the Fort Idaho Center keeps that place. There's no standing water or anything like that that's going to create.
Oh, good. Because I'd hate to go to something like this and end up with West Nile or something,
Yeah, we don't want you to
That
get
wouldn't
West
be too
Nile,
good.
right?
No.
No.
Right, that wouldn't be
And
good.
I think I'm going to skip these Democratic debates because, near as I can tell, I've listened for this for a long time. It sounds like they're going to offer 23 different plans for national suicide. That's about all I can figure that the Democrats have out there. I think
Art,
it'll be a lot
we hope
better
to see you tonight.
Yeah. So I might go leave at 3, go over there, do a little shopping at Walmart because I understand. I found the address. I see where it's at. I guess you say
Yeah, you could buy some DEET at Walmart and then come on over.
Yeah. Is there a park? When can you get to the parking lot? At 4 o'clock?
Well, the gates open at 4, but I'm sure you can park before that.
Okay, that's what I was looking for. That's all I needed, so I'll probably see you then.
You'll see me. I'll be dressed up as a bright, big blueberry.
Okay. Catch you later then, Kevin. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Art. God bless. Sandy, back to you here this evening. When we people just tuning in right now about the Treasure Valley God and Country Festival, one of the most unique events, not only in the state but in the country, because you have people saying, and I don't know what the term is, whether you call it politically correct or not, where people sometimes outside of their houses of worship seem reluctant to say, I love Jesus, I love God, He is my Savior. And tonight, people will be celebrating that. People will be celebrating the greatest country in the history of the world.
Tonight at our God and Country Festival, we will be talking a lot and openly about God. And I do want to emphasize the fact that this is a free event. And you can come and you can openly talk about God. We get to sing. We're going to pray. It's just a wonderful time where we can celebrate God and country.
Right. Easier said than done. More on that in a minute. Traffic and weather together. KIDO Talk Radio, 107.5 FM, 580 AM. Good morning, Robin. And I'm Kevin Miller in the morning, repeating some of our top headlines. The president criticizing the post-World War II military agreement with the Japanese, and the president saying Google and Facebook should be sued over their bias. 580-5436, 580-KIDO, and Robert Mueller agreeing to testify publicly about the Trump investigation. David Ferdinand joining us once again, talking about the Treasure Valley God and Country Festival this evening in Nampa. You know, we've got some very special people that will be running the show tonight. You've got Dee Sarton, you've got Carolyn Holly. All of us have grown up with them, grown with them throughout the years on local television. And to tell you a little secret, they're a little giddy about the fact of getting to work together.
And they're a little giddy about getting to work with Kevin Miller, too.
They just try and stay away from me because I'm sweaty, but I can totally understand that, yes.
Listen, when people, gates open at 4 o'clock, event starts at 5 o'clock, somebody has to welcome these fine folks of the Treasure Valley and Eastern Oregon, and in fact, his people come in from Montana all over the place to come to this event tonight. And Dee Sarton and Carolyn Holly have worked together over the years, and now with Dee's retirement, and Carolyn Holly is the official fill-in anchor. Did you know that? For the morning show, for Maggie and several, the people, if they need someone to fill in.
She's the ringer.
She comes in.
Right.
She knows what she's doing. Anyway, they're going to have a great time tonight, interviewing some of the sponsors, certainly interviewing the military, certainly talking about the freedoms of our country, and they just, all of you guys just make it a very pleasant evening to come out and enjoy a nice, relaxed way to celebrate the 4th of July weekend.
Well, and getting back to those two, they have contributed over the years so much.
Tremendous.
And, how many times have we watched them on Channel 7, and then all of a sudden taking a look and a listen as they go back and forth. And one of the great things, and this is what the volunteers, the board members, the folks that support this festival get, is echoed in the work of Carolyn Holly and Dee Sarton, is it's never about them. It's always about giving back. And really that's what God and Country is about, giving back.
Yeah, and I agree. And Carolyn and Dee have done a great job. We tried to pair them up 2 or 3 years ago and gave them the opportunity, and boy, they jumped at it. And when I talked to Carolyn and Dee again this year, as
right,
it's like, hey, it's God and Country time.
Sure.
The week before the 4th of July in the Treasure Valley, this is the kickoff for our Independence celebration. They are always excited to do it, and like you said, they bring such a warm, fun personality to this event that really helps people connect with exactly what we are doing, that faith, family, and freedom that you talked about.
Indeed, and of course that begins tonight at 4, gates open, and we'll have much more coming up. We're at Team Mazda Subaru celebrating God and Country. We hope to see it there. And folks, wherever you are from, whether you're new to the Treasure Valley, have been here all your life, just coming in, like a lot of folks, wondering what this is all about, it's a free event. I would recommend, as David Ferdinand says, to get there early and get a great seat. You're going to have food, you're going to have fun, you're going to have, just about everything you need to get rolling as we kick off the 4th of July season. Kevin Miller in the morning, KIDO Talk Radio, God and Country Day here in Nampa, Idaho. Fox News next. Stay tuned.